Get a load of this!
How's it going, guys? So I am here with the review of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2. So this episode definitely wasn't as good as the season premiere. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. This episode gets really good, like in the last 10 minutes. It's a decent episode. I really do feel it is like a major step down, though, from the way how he kicked things off. It really feels like it was kind of figuring out what it wanted to do at first. It was trying to kind of put Mando in peril, but not really moving the story forward much. And, you know, the first episode did move the story forward because we got to see, you know, how Tamora Morrison was going to get in there, you know, as Boba Fett. You know, you had that foreshadowing in there, even more than just foreshadowing, to be quite honest. But this one, Mando's pretty much doing an escort mission. You know, he's got this dinosaur mother. I mean, that's the best way I could really describe it. She kind of looked like she was right out of Dinosaurs, that old TV show from the very early 90s, if anybody remembers it. You know, I'm the baby, you gotta love me, right? Like, that's what I was thinking about. So, you know, he goes back to Amy Sedaris. They cook the crate dragon meat. And she tells him about how this mother is having a problem. That she's got to get these eggs to her home planet. So Mando's going to take her there. Why does he want to take her there? Because a Mandalorian is on her planet. And this is what the alien has told her. So Mando has to take her. He runs into some X-Wing pilots, you know, working for the New Republic. He doesn't have the proper credentials that they're looking for. So when Mando can't give him, you know, the right answer, they ask him if he could come with them back to the outpost. He doesn't want to do this. He's got shit to do. So what does he do? He goes flying off onto an icy planet and ends up getting shipwrecked pretty much. Flies into a, you know, right onto the ground. Ground collapses, falls into a cavern. And while they're in this cavern, the mother can't communicate with Mando. Only Amy Sedaris spoke the language. So remember back when they had the episode where Mando was getting all the bounty hunters, and one of them was a droid? Well, the alien takes the head of that droid and uses it to communicate with Mando, and says that, you know, this is something that can't wait to the morning because the ship is wrecked. And so Mando says, well, you know, this happened, so, you know, I can't keep my promise. We're going to the planet, but we can't get you there on time. So she tells him that this is your creed and that you promised, and it's against the Mandalorian's creed to go against that promise, that they always keep their word. So, you know, he kind of, with a big heavy sigh, you know, decides that he's got to do something, and he's got to start, you know, working on repairing the ship and getting it back into flying shape. But she runs off, and she goes to a hot spring, and they've got this really funny joke where the child keeps eating the eggs that she has. Kind of really disgusting when you think about it. Like, it's basically like they're having the child eat like somewhat like underdeveloped fetuses. I couldn't get that thought out of my mind, but, you know, funny nonetheless. It's a cute little running gag that they had, and he keeps slipping the eggs into his mouth. But anyway, after Mando tells him for like the 19th time, stop eating the eggs, he goes and finds some other eggs. Those eggs belong to some ill-tempered spiders. Pretty soon, all the spiders erupt from their eggs, and a huge, giant mother spider comes, chases them all into the ship. And this is just like probably the best part of the episode, where Mando's frantically blasting, trying to close the doors to the cockpit so they'll all be safe inside the ship. And then you got the giant spider chasing him, you know, through the caverns. And when they're in the ship, you see it right there at the cockpit windshield. And I think it's a really awesome sight. Also, when they show you all the concept art in the end credits, I don't think I've really expressed it enough in these reviews, but the concept art is so beautiful. I mean, I absolutely just love it. I mean, that's just some artistic beauty right there. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I like looking at that art just as much as the show in live action. It's just, it looks that good to me. It's just they have a really, really talented artist, like concept artist. Just, it reminds me of the concept art for the original trilogy and for the prequels. And I haven't really seen a lot of concept art for the sequel trilogy, but I'm sure I'd probably like that too. There's just something about that Star Wars concept art that just looks so amazing. And it's kind of also really great to see those sketches, that they're so true to how the show actually turned out. Like, there's a lot of concept art in Star Wars that wasn't used. Like, you look at all the sketches of Darth Vader, but these are kind of like the final concept arts, almost used for the storyboards of sorts. So they look really good. They look really finished, and they're very detailed. They're like definitely something you'd want to like hang up in a room, like really to display as like a conversation piece or just a fan memorabilia piece. I don't know if they should be selling these. I mean, they look just incredible. So anyway, those same X-Wing pilots end up helping Mando, but they end up not blasting him. They blast all the spiders. By the way, anyone with arachnophobia, I would really advise probably against watching this episode, because, dear Lord, there's a lot of spiders, especially the big one. And they are definitely, you know, they're a little bit different than your normal spiders. These are like Star Wars spiders. I don't know what their actual species name is, but as far as I'm concerned, they're spiders. So, the same X-Wing pods, they realize that Mando, they ran his credentials and the ship, and they realize that he has helped out Republic people, and I think that they were setting corrections, so they must be talking about that very same episode that droid is from, you know, the one that she uses to communicate with Mando, the mother does. And you know, I think that's who they were talking about, because they talk about Republic corrections. So remember, that was a floating prison of sorts, so, you know, a derelict spacecraft. This whole, you know, so they let him go basically, but when he asked them, you know, I'll drop the bounties if you decide, you know, to you know, help me repair the ship. And they say, oh, you better just get the proper credentials so we don't vaporize you the next time we see you. So he's basically like marooned there until he makes the repairs, and then soon enough we're off to the next adventure. So, you know, like I said, this was an okay episode. I mean, I didn't dislike it. There was nothing really to dislike. There was enough charm, you know, with the jokes and everything like that, you know. And it's a well-written episode, but wasn't exactly eventful. There wasn't really anything mind-blowing. Like, the premiere was really like edge of your seat excitement. It really felt like something that was really drawing you in, a real like monster tale and everything. And, you know, this with the spiders, this did also have that same horror element. You know, how are they going to get out of this one? Like I said, you know, anyone with arachnophobia certainly will be frightened by this episode. So I did like it. It just, it didn't hit all the right spots like the premiere did. And that's not necessarily a problem. You know, we can't expect all the episodes to be created equal. It's just like, I kind of agree with a few people who were saying that this one kind of felt a little fillery. But a lot of times, you know, I kind of do like some filler episodes where they kind of sit back and chill a little bit with the story. But I mean, it is the second episode. I mean, we just did get started with the series. So I probably would have liked to see a little bit more furtherance in, you know, the overall story and him trying to hunt for other Mandalorians, you know, So this was kind of like a detour. Like, we're kind of, we're on the path here. We've got something, we're headed to another planet. We can't wait to see. And then we're like, oh, well, they ran into a hazard and now we have to figure this one out. And I guess, it's a great swerve. It's a nice little curve in the road like any real adventure would have. But, it wasn't really the best, most thrilling episode. But I really did enjoy, like I said, the final 10 minutes. I thought that was good, and the jokes were good. And, it was kind of, charming to see Mando communicate with this alien dinosaur mother. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode down in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post on my new videos. And guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.